Welcome to the Nourish to Thrive podcast, faith-forward, science-backed strategies for women who want more energy, less weight, and real answers. I'm your host, Tanya Pennington-Miller, a functional nutritional therapy practitioner and functional blood chemistry specialist with a master's degree in applied clinical nutrition. If you're tired of feeling dismissed by your doctor, confused by your labs, and stuck in survival mode, you're in the right place. Here, we simplify the science, we get to the root, and we anchor it all in truth. Because God made your body to heal and thrive, not just survive. It just needs the right kind of support and less noise. Hello, my friend. Welcome in to the Nourish to Thrive podcast. I am so glad you're back with me today. This episode has been burning on my heart for the past week. And honestly, I wasn't even planning to talk about this yet. It was planned for a future episode down the road. But when something this important keeps tugging at me, I know it's not just me. I know it is the Holy Spirit saying, say it. And then I actually had one of you reach out to me while I was preparing this episode. You sent me an email and you said that you are dealing with this exact thing. And so let's just say I received all the confirmation that I needed to know that this episode is meant to be heard right now. So here we are. Recently, I had a family member who went in for what was supposed to be somewhat of a routine doctor's visit. To her, everything seemed normal that day, okay? Until it wasn't. They checked her vitals and found that her heart rate was around 155. She hadn't felt anything unusual. No racing, no, fluttering of the heart, just sitting there completely unaware that there was anything wrong. And within minutes, they told her that she was in atrial fibrillation, AFib, and that she would need to go to the ER, and they wouldn't even let her drive there herself. They called an ambulance on the spot and they rushed her over. I mean, imagine that. Walking into an appointment thinking you're fine and walking out, getting in an ambulance with your heart out of rhythm. So she spent the next week in the hospital while they tried to stabilize her heart and just really figure out what was happening. And at first, it seemed like a heart problem. But when they dug deeper, they realized that it was actually her thyroid that was in overdrive. Her T3, her T4, they were both just through the roof. And of course, her TSH was undetectable. So then the antibody results came back and bam, you have Graves' disease. And you can imagine that shock, right? Like one moment you're just sitting in a doctor's office and the next you're being told that you have an autoimmune condition that is attacking one of the most vital glands in your body. I mean, the fear, the confusion, the flood of, what now? It's just a lot to take in. And I think there's a lot of confusion around autoimmune. And as she was going through all of this, all I could think is that I have seen this story too many times before. Different women, some with the same diagnosis, many with different diagnosis, but the same pattern. So hear me on this. Her heart in this situation is not the problem. Her thyroid is not the problem. Those two are actually the victims of something deeper happening in her body. The real problem is her immune system. And this is speaking to anybody with an autoimmune condition. Her immune system, the very system that is designed to protect her, has turned on her thyroid. It's attacking it. It's overstimulating it. It's flooding her body with thyroid hormone. And so now her heart is just caught in that crossfire. And do you want to know what the options that were put on the table for her during that week? They wanted to do a cardio version where they literally shock the heart and try to reset the rhythm. They also came in to have a discussion about doing an ablation, this procedure that literally burns section of your heart tissue, hoping to stop the electrical misfires causing that irregular rhythm. Many with congestive heart failure end up getting these cardiac ablations. And then if that didn't resolve things, the next step, to remove the thyroid entirely. I want you to let that sink in for a minute. The proposed solutions were to burn the heart and to remove the thyroid, the very tissues that are being attacked, instead of asking, why are they under attack in the first place? And that's what breaks my heart, because what she's being told to do is what millions of women are being told every single day. Let's just remove the organ. Let's just medicate the symptom. Let's just silence the noise, right? But what if the noise is actually the body's cry for help? What if it's not a malfunction? What if it's just a miscommunication? What if the real healing comes from calming the immune system and not cutting the body apart? Because autoimmune disease, it's not random. It's not your thyroid just, randomly going crazy. It's your immune system being overwhelmed. It's inflamed. It's confused. It's trying to protect you the only way it knows how. And so I told her, if they remove your thyroid, those antibodies do not just vanish. They will find another target. Because once your immune system gets stuck in this pattern that it's in, it's going to keep looking for somewhere else to go, something else to attack. And that's why women who develop autoimmune diseases are so much more likely to develop another one. The immune confusion doesn't stop just because you've taken out an organ or a gland. Okay, it simply moves on to the next one. And I know for a fact that some of you right now are nodding as you're listening, because you've seen this play out, maybe with your own thyroid, maybe with your gut, maybe with your joints, your skin, maybe with somebody that you know. And the truth is, the root cause of all of those are the same: an overactive immune system that is out of rhythm with a body that God designed. So today I want to have a real conversation about what autoimmune disease actually is, why it's affecting so many women, what conventional medicine keeps missing, and then most importantly, what you can do to start calming the fire instead of feeding into it. Because this isn't just about Graves or Hashimoto's or any single diagnosis. This is about understanding how to stop the war that your body has been fighting and how to start restoring that peace. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. So let's break this down really simply, because when you actually understand what's happening in the body, it stops feeling so mysterious and scary. Your immune system's main job is to protect you. It's designed to recognize what belongs to you and what doesn't. Like a bouncer at the door keeping the wrong people out, right? But when that immune system gets overloaded, now this can be by stress, poor sleep, toxins, nutrient deficiencies, leaky gut, it starts to lose the ability to be able to tell the difference. Essentially, it gets confused. And instead of only attacking foreign invaders like bacteria or viruses, it starts attacking you. That's what an autoimmune condition really is. It's not that your thyroid has gone rogue. It's your immune system misfiring, doing the right job, but in the wrong direction. So let's talk about thyroid for a second, because this is where a lot of women first see autoimmune show up. There are two main autoimmune thyroid conditions: Hashimoto's, which is the most common, and Graves. And they're basically two sides of the same coin. With Hashimoto's, your immune system attacks the thyroid and it slows it down. So you end up with symptoms like fatigue, weight gain, constipation, dry skin, brain fog. With Graves, your immune system overstimulates the thyroid, causes it to pump out too much hormone. So this tends to lead to anxiety and heart palpitations, increased heart rate, insomnia, oftentimes rapid weight loss. So different outcomes, same root cause. A confused immune system that's attacking something that it is supposed to be protecting. So when conventional medicine says, let's just suppress the thyroid or let's just remove it altogether, they're missing the bigger picture because the thyroid was never the driver. It's the victim. You can medicate the thyroid, you can remove it, but if you never calm the immune system that caused the attack in the first place, that inflammation will just find a new target. And that's why you often see women go from thyroid issues to joint pain to gut issues to skin problems. Again, all different symptoms, same immune confusion. So the real question isn't what organ do we need to fix? The question is, why is the immune system attacking it in the first place? And when we ask that, that's where, true healing can actually begin. So I want you to hear this reality check that really isn't talked about. Over 50 million Americans are living with an autoimmune disease. This next part is what I want you to hear. Of that 50 million, more than 75% are women. Let that sink in. That means statistically, you or someone you love is already living with one. Whether it is thyroid or joint, chronic fatigue, skin conditions, gut problems, right? Or something else that's been brushed off as, oh, well, you're just getting older. And so the question is, why us? Why women? And part of it comes down to biology. Women's immune systems are just naturally more active. And while that is a strength when it comes to fighting infection, it also makes us more vulnerable when the immune system gets overstimulated, right? And then you add in everything we carry, hormonal fluctuations every single month, right? While we're cycling, pregnancy, postpartum, perimenopause, menopause. Okay, all of which shift the immune system dramatically. All things that men don't experience. And then let's be honest, most women are carrying the stress load for everyone around them. It's just what we do. We're juggling the emotional weight of our families, the demands of our work, the expectations of culture. And we're trying to hold it all together. And we do it all with a smile on our face. And the piece that makes me, I think, the most frustrated is how many women will never hear the word autoimmune until it's too late, until their thyroid is burned out, until the joints ache, until they've seen 6 different doctors who've told them, your labs are fine. Because the conventional model is not built for prevention. It's built for crisis management. And by the time those crises show up, the immune system has been waving the white flag for years. So when I tell you that this conversation matters, it's because it could literally change the trajectory of a woman's health before it becomes irreversible. Because when you catch it early, when you start addressing the root cause instead of medicating the symptoms, you can reclaim your quality of life, let alone save an organ. That's exactly why I run thyroid antibody markers on every single woman who comes through my DNA Reset for Fat Loss Academy. Because I don't want to wait until she's in crises to catch what's already been brewing for years. And here's where I'm going to get a little fired up, okay? Because we've built a medical system that is really good at labeling symptoms, but terrible at asking why they are there in the first place. If it's your thyroid, let's medicate it or remove it. If it's your joints, they might prescribe steroids or immune suppressing drugs to suppress the inflammation. If it's your gut, they're going to throw antibiotics at it, maybe some steroids. And sure, those things might calm it down for a minute, but it never quiets the immune confusion that's actually driving it all. These are all Band-Aids. Because the thyroid isn't the problem. The joints aren't the problem. The gut isn't the problem. They are all just the targets. The real issue is what's telling the body to attack those things in the first place. See, conventional medicine operates from what I call an organ-centered model. It focuses on the symptom and the body part attached to it. But in functional nutrition and functional medicine, we take this immune-centered approach. We don't just ask what's being attacked, we ask why is the immune system attacking at all? And that's a completely different question. And it leads to a completely different kind of healing. Because when you shift the focus from medicating organs to calming the immune system, you stop chasing symptoms and you start restoring balance. And that's why I get so passionate about this, because women are losing organs. They're losing glands. They're losing quality of life over something that can often be quieted naturally when you get to the root. You don't heal by removing the victim. You heal by retraining the system that caused the attack. So let's talk about where autoimmune diseases really begin. Because the thyroid and the joints and the skin, those are really just all where they show up. But the real starting place for most women is in the gut. So about 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. And that's not a random number. That's by design. God placed the majority of your immune defenses there because what comes through your gut has the power to influence every system in your body. It's fascinating. Your gut lining is like a security gate. It decides what gets in and what stays out. When the gate is strong and intact, everything runs smoothly. But when it gets weak or damaged, then things can start slipping through that were never meant to get through. And this is what people mean when they talk about leaky gut. Or you might have also heard it as intestinal permeability. Tiny proteins, food particles, and even bits of bacteria, they start to sneak through the gut wall and into your bloodstream. So then your immune system, which really is just doing its job, flags them as intruders. And the problem here is that some of those foreign particles look a lot like your own body tissue. So once your immune system goes on the attack, it can accidentally start attacking your thyroid, your joints, your skin, simply because it has gotten confused. And that confusion can come from a lot of different triggers. So I'm going to talk about a few of them. One of the main is gluten and cross-reactivity. So for many women, gluten is one of the biggest offenders. It can directly irritate the gut lining and trigger what's called molecular mimicry, meaning the immune system mistakes part of your own body for gluten. Because literally the protein structures look so similar. So every time you eat it, your immune system goes on this high alert and it ends up attacking your thyroid right along with attacking the gluten. Chronic stress is also a big one. When cortisol is high, it weakens your gut barrier and it suppresses digestion. So it leaves food only half broken down before it hits your bloodstream. Nutrient deficiencies. So especially selenium, zinc, and vitamin D, these are the very nutrients that help regulate the immune response. They help to reduce inflammation. They help to protect your tissue from oxidative stress. And then we have toxins, viruses, and mold. And these create a constant low-level immune activation. So your body's defense system kind of stays in this switched on mode. And when it's on for too long, it starts to misfire. So autoimmune conditions can definitely feel complicated. But the root idea is actually simple. A leaky gut and an overworked immune system create the perfect storm. And until you repair that gut barrier and you calm those immune triggers, your body can't stop attacking itself, no matter how many medications you take. This is why in my world, Healing always starts in the gut. Because when you calm the foundation, the entire system can finally exhale. So I want to talk for a minute about why surgery alone is not the cure. So when my family member was sitting there in the hospital with the elevated heart rate and being told that, she might need an ablation and thyroid removal, this is when she asked me, if they take my thyroid out, what happens to those antibodies that you've been talking to me about? And I told her, they don't just disappear. They will find a new target. Because again, the thyroid isn't the problem. It's the immune system that has gone rogue. Your thyroid is the victim standing in the line of fire. So when we remove an organ or we ablate a tissue that's being attacked, we're not fixing the problem. We're just removing one of its casualties, right? We've normalized these permanent, life-altering procedures as if they solve autoimmune disease, when really they just silence one symptom while the root remains untouched. You can't surgically remove an immune dysfunction. You can't medicate your way out of a lifestyle and environment that's keeping your body in constant alarm mode. And I'm not saying there's never a time for medical intervention. Certainly, sometimes it's absolutely necessary. But what I am saying is that it should never be the first or only plan. Because when you calm the immune system, when you repair the gut, you lower inflammation, you regulate stress, you replenish nutrients, you often see the body stop attacking itself. And that's the part that most doctors never tell women. They tell you to take the medication or schedule the surgery, but they don't tell you that your body was built to heal when given the right conditions. So yes, sometimes surgery saves lives, absolutely. But it's not the cure, because you can't remove what was never the real problem. So what does real healing actually look like? Because it's not about cutting the body apart. It's about calming the system that's been crying out for help. True healing never comes from just silencing your body. We have to listen to it. There are certainly times when medication or even surgery are necessary in the short term. I'm not against medicine, but we just can't stop there. Because stabilizing symptoms is not the same as restoring function. And the real goal is to bring your body and your immune system back into alignment with how God designed it to work. So I'm going to talk about a few things, like what this actually looks like in practice. So number one, not surprising, gut healing. Healing starts in the gut always. And that means removing triggers that poke holes in your gut lining. Things like gluten, processed seed oils, artificial sweeteners, inflammatory foods. And then we have to focus on repairing and rebuilding with real whole foods, protein, healthy fats. Also things like L-glutamine, zinc carnosine, collagen. We want to make sure that we are sealing and strengthening the gut wall. Because when the gut lining heals, the immune system can calm. We also have to focus on inflammation reduction. Inflammation is the gasoline on the autoimmune fire. Anybody with an autoimmune condition must focus on inflammation reduction. We have to start putting the fire out. And we can do that by balancing our blood sugars, increasing our omega-3s, reducing processed oils, loading up on antioxidant-rich foods. This is where a primal paleo-style approach really, really shines. We focus on real, unprocessed foods. Again, quality proteins, healthy fats, colorful plants. while removing the triggers like the refined oils and the grains and the sugars, all that keep the body inflamed. When you eat the way that your body was designed to, in rhythm with nature, inflammation is going to quiet. Hormones are going to steady. The immune system finally exhales. Next is stress and sleep. Your nervous system is the gatekeeper for your immune system. If your body never feels safe, your immune system never turns off. And this is why chronic stress and lack of sleep are two of the most overlooked autoimmune triggers. Building daily rhythms that ground your body, focusing on morning light, prayer, stillness, a consistent bedtime, they're not just wellness tips. They are immune healing strategies. And once you've addressed the physical roots, the gut, the inflammation, the stress, there's still one more layer to healing that cannot be ignored. And this is the spiritual one. Because your body doesn't just need nutrients and rest, it needs peace. And that peace comes from remembering who designed your immune system in the first place. God did not create it to destroy you. He created it to protect you. And it has simply gotten confused. Healing is about bringing it back into harmony with that original design through nourishment, through rest, through trust in the one who knit you together. Now, I do want to talk for a second about a tool I use often in autoimmune cases when, everything else that we're doing is not helping. And you know what? I forgot to mention myo-inositol is a really great supplement also, especially in Hashimoto's. And so, I'm actually going to link that in the show notes. There's a really great product that I like to use for that, which is I've had a lot of luck with that, reducing antibodies. But when that doesn't work, there's something else that you can actually get prescribed, and it's called low-dose naltrexone, or LDN. And it's one of my favorite tools when used alongside a root healing protocol. You want to make sure that you are still pairing it with omega-3s and vitamin D and selenium and glutathione precursors to support detoxification and immune balance. Now, naltrexone at full dose is actually a medication that's used in addiction recovery. It blocks the effects of opioids and alcohol. It helps to reduce cravings and prevent relapse, but at a very, very low dose, and I'm talking, as low as 1.5 milligrams, it works completely differently. So instead of blocking pleasure or numbing anything, it gently helps to rebalance your immune system. And so in simple terms, LDN temporarily blocks a small number of your body's opioid receptors, so the ones that help to regulate pain and inflammation and immune communication. And when those receptors essentially wake up a few hours later, your body responds by producing more of its own natural endorphins. Those endorphins don't just improve your mood, they calm your immune system. They tell your body, hey, we're safe again. You don't have to stay on high alert. And that's what makes LDN so unique. It doesn't suppress your immune system like steroids or other biologics do. It helps retrain it. It helps it to recognize the difference between your own tissues and a true threat. So it helps to lower antibodies. It helps to calm inflammation, to reduce pain and fatigue. And it helps to restore balance in an immune system that has just been overreacting. So I've seen it make a very noticeable difference for women dealing with conditions like Hashimoto's, rheumatoid arthritis, Graves, chronic fatigue, even fibromyalgia, when it's used alongside a gut healing, blood sugar balance, and nervous system support. So it's not a magic pill. LDN is a bridge. It's a tool that helps to lower inflammation and quiet the immune storm while you are also doing the deeper work, right? The deeper work of healing your gut, of balancing minerals, of restoring your rhythm. So we're not medicating the body into silence. We're just really helping it to remember how to listen again. So tools like LDN can be incredibly powerful. They quiet the storm so that your body can finally start to heal. But even more than that, they remind me of something bigger, that our bodies were never designed to destroy themselves. And when I look at the way that the immune system works, I can't help but see God's fingerprints all over it. Every pathway, every feedback loop, every built-in repair mechanism. It's all evidence of design. And when things go off track, it's not proof that design is flawed. It's a reminder that we've drifted from alignment with it. And that's why true healing isn't just physical. It's spiritual alignment. Because you can support your gut, you can balance your blood sugar, calm your immune system. But if you're living outside of peace, constantly pushing past the rhythms that God has built into you, you'll keep ending back up in the same place. God created your body with order and intention. Your immune system is not your enemy. It's your ally that has just lost its way. And when you begin to care for yourself from that place of reverence, instead of fear, feeding it well, resting when you need to, managing stress, seeking his presence, you're not just working on your health, you're honoring his creation. Because healing is not about controlling every variable. It's about coming back into partnership with the one who built the blueprint in the first place. That's where true restoration can begin. Autoimmunity is not your body betraying you. It's your body crying out for restoration. And I want you to remember this. God never designed your body to turn against itself. He designed it to protect, to repair, and to heal. But when the rhythm breaks, whether it be through stress or depletion or disconnection, it starts to forget who the real enemy is. And that's why healing isn't about cutting things out or silencing symptoms. It's about remembering what God already built within you. He doesn't call us to destroy what he designed to heal. He calls us to steward it. So Psalm 139:14 says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Every cell, every pathway, every immune response was crafted with intention. When you stop fighting against yourself and you start asking, Lord, show me how to care for this body that you have given me. Because healing doesn't always start with a supplement or a diet change. Sometimes it starts with stillness, with faith. So wherever you are today, whether you're walking through a diagnosis, supporting someone who is, or just feeling disconnected from your body, I want you to take heart. God hasn't forgotten the details of your health. And when you bring your body back into his rhythm, you create the space where restoration can begin. So before we close today, I just want to take a moment to pray for you. Lord, for every woman listening who's walking through confusion, through fear, or frustration with her body, would you meet her right where she is? Would you calm her mind, settle her heart? Remind her that her body is not her enemy. It's part of your creation. Lord, teach her to listen with grace, to care with wisdom, and to trust that you are still writing a redemptive story in her health. Lord, give her discernment as she makes decisions and peace in the waiting. In your glorious name we pray. Amen. If this episode spoke to you, or if it brought clarity about something you or someone that you love is walking through, would you share this with her? Because the more we understand about what's really happening inside our bodies, the less power fear has over us. And if you're ready to stop guessing and truly start understanding your own body, I want to personally invite you to join the waitlist for my DNA Reset for Fat Loss Academy. So enrollment will open at the start of 2026. And this round is going to be incredible. You will uncover your unique genetic blueprint with a DNA test. You'll have comprehensive functional labs, including all of the markers we've been talking about, fasting insulin, thyroid antibodies. I mean, we just run them all. And you'll finally see the full picture about what your body has been trying to tell you. So you can get on the wait list now. I will leave that link in the show notes so that you're the first to know when doors open. Spaces are very limited in this academy. And as always, thank you for being here, for learning, for stewarding your health with faith and with wisdom. And I'll see you next week, sister. That's it for today on the Nourish to Thrive podcast. If you found value here, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, or send it to someone who's walking a similar path. Keep showing up, keep asking questions, and know that healing is possible, especially when you trust the one who designed your body to heal. Until next time, stay rooted in truth and nourished in grace.